Hello there, and welcome. Being evaluated. It's funny. Being evaluated is a natural thing for a teacher to experience because we constantly evaluate our students. But we forget how nerve-wracking that can sometimes be until the moment we have to go in and sit down with our supervisor and face whatever their evaluation of us is going to be. Now, part of evaluation is observation. And if you're new to a district of fresh hire, you should get at least 3 observations your first year. And probably you should get at least 3 from 2 different people. Now, does that always happen? No. But you definitely should not have an evaluation without an observation. It does sometimes happen that occurs, but it shouldn't. So if it is happening in your district, keep your eyes and ears peeled with your peers to see if their feeling about not being observed but being evaluated is negatively affecting their experience. It's very helpful to be observed, even though, truth be told, whenever a supervisor comes in to observe you while you're teaching, it does affect the classroom behavior. It just can't help but do that. So that's something to keep in mind. Before you go in to your meeting for your evaluation, it's important to consider some possibilities. One, if you truly think your administrator is going to be too hard on you, it is within the law for you to ask to have a representative with you. You can have a building rep from a teaching union with you. Even if you're not a member of the union, you can invite that person to come with you. Or you can have your department head with you. And in some schools, they actually do have, for new hires, though the department head and the principal together when they evaluate you. So there is a witness, okay? 3 people is better than 2, always. It is worth considering recording your evaluation, either with a camera or with just the sound recording. Now, some evaluators may not like that, and in some states you may not be legally allowed to do that without the permission of the evaluator. That's something you'd have to look up, but it is worth it to have a recording of the evaluation. It can help you if things go sour during the evaluation. It can also help you if things go just well and you're just too nervous while you're sitting there. Typically, evaluation marks run 1 to 5 or 1 to 3. They aren't letter grades, but they sort of reflect letter grades. And how you usually have your evaluation go is B's and A's. That's what most teachers get, is B's and A's. Why? Well, usually people who've been trained to teach are okay at teaching. So they're B and A producers. I have had evaluations where I got all superior marks, every one. That's my favorite kind of evaluation. But it didn't happen every time. And even if I wanted it to, it didn't happen every time. So that is part of it. Now, there is a level of evaluation where other things kick in. For example, if you meet expectation or exceed expectation, that's B and A, then there's nothing that's to be done. However, if you have a certain category in which you get needs improvement, that means you're probably going to have a PDP, a professional development plan. Now, some districts require every single person to have one, but some districts only require one if you've had substandard marks on 1 or 2 categories on your evaluation. Now, when you're first hired, you're an at-will hire, so you can have your contract not renewed and not get a single explanation why. But that evaluation, if it says needs improvement on several categories, that could be a reason why. If the principal does not suggest you get a PDP and you guys come up with a plan for addressing these shortcomings, then you're probably not going to be rehired. And that's very upsetting. However, if you have needs improvement, you can ask, can I get a PDP? Now that means I get additional training and monitoring by a supervisor so that we can address the problem, set a goal for when it will be addressed, and ways to address it. The thing is, getting a needs improvement mark is really, really, really miserable. So, if you're early on in this whole evaluation game, I strongly suggest one thing that's a really easy thing to do and can help you. Take a notebook with you. Even if you don't take a representative, take a notebook and have it out and have a pen out and be writing in that notebook while you're getting your evaluation. You could be making notes like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, or you could be making notes about, I need to deal with this, I need to deal with that, okay? There's two things the notebook provides you. It provides you a place to look if they say something that hurts. And it also inoculates you against being abused by somebody who might be less ethical, who's your supervisor. Because if you have a notebook and you keep notes of what happens in your professional life, they know they can't just spring things on you out of nowhere because you keep track of things. So having that notebook in front of you can help you do a number of things. Number one, no matter how much you want to, do not cry, yell, or curse. No crying, no yelling, no cursing. Maintain an even strain no matter what your supervisor says. That should apply to your supervisor too, but that doesn't mean the supervisor will abide by it. But you must remain calm, because this feeling that may come on you if you get an unfair evaluation may make you do impulsive things, and having that notebook in front of you can keep you from saying, fine, I quit. Because that's not a good thing to do anyway. Furthermore, if you have a notebook in front of you, it will give you time to reflect on what may be the suggestion here. For example, during my first 2 years of teaching, I had terrible management and organization skills. I really struggled with that. And I needed help. It didn't get noticed by my evaluators, but I definitely knew I needed help. If my evaluator had noticed it, that evaluator could have helped me solve those problems. As it was, I had to figure it out on my own. But if you're in a situation where they say you need improvement in something and you can objectively look at your work for the year and say, yes, you know what, I do need improvement in that. Can you please make suggestions about how I can improve? If you can do that, it's going to free you so much from the feeling of being picked on or unfairly treated. And so you need to go in with that in your mind so that you can remain calm no matter what is said during the evaluation period. Some people like to be evaluated. I loved being evaluated because I figured I was going to come out smelling like a rose. There were evaluations, however, that surprised and upset me greatly. And after those evaluations, I learned I need to take a notebook with me, and if I feel like I need a rep, I'm going to ask for someone to come in and sit with me in that situation. Because I have a right to feel protected in an environment where I might not be entirely safe and protected. Yes, I told you I had baggage. Big baggage. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a glorious rest of the day. And I hope you see me again, you gorgeous people.